Yeah, yeah, there you go, there you go. Championship. What's going on, everybody? How you doing? I wanted to say hello. I'm in the airport, which is where I've been for hours and hours and hours. There's nothing worse than when you get on a flight that's supposed to take 45 minutes and it ends up taking 5.5 hours. Let me see, it's almost quarter to midnight. And I was supposed to get off the plane about 5:50, 5:45, and here it is, what, six hours later, something like that. So anyway, I had to tell you guys about something that something that happened today. I see Chanita's here. How you doing, Chanita? And Faza, good to see you. I was talking today to Dr. Claud Anderson, and I gave him a call because I've been worried about him. You know, I wanted to check to make sure he was okay. He's not as okay as I'd like for him to be, but I'm gonna let him decide how much he wants to share with that, so I can't reveal the man's personal information. But I will say that I called him to check on him because I love the man. He's a father, grandfather for me, same as Farrakhan. And anyway, one of the things that we discussed today was how he's still fighting for reparations for black folks. He's fighting for you. And it's very expensive. He spent over $250,000 of his own money on this reparations battle. A lot of people aren't helping him. He said a lot of the celebrities and the Oprah Winfrey types, they feel like this is too black, so they're not going to get involved with something like this. And one of the things that, give me 1 second here. And so one of the things that he mentioned as well is he said that they were close to having a settlement. They were actually going to talk about, like settling literally for billions of dollars. And it was the Obama administration that blocked all of that, that stopped all of that. And so one of the things that he reiterated, when we were talking is, about the importance of us kind of understanding that these Democrats, they don't really want to do anything for black people because their argument, their logic is, we already have black people supporting us anyway. Why do we have to actually do anything for black folks? And I know people get mad when I say it. They think, oh, you just hating, or oh, you just trying to obstruct and all that. And if that's what I am, if that's what you want to call me, then fuck it, call me that. But right now I'm going to tell you the truth. The truth is that according to Dr. Anderson, the people that stood in the way of you winning this reparations lawsuit were people from the Obama administration. Also, the Cherokee Nation, look it up. Look up the Indian Treaty of 1866 and look up the Cherokee freedmen. The Cherokee freedmen were the black people that were part of the Cherokee Nation because the Cherokees held a lot of slaves, more slaves than even white people did. And they also worked with those who wanted to enslave black people they would go hunt, escaped slaves and get paid money. Every slave that you bought back, you get $25. Every scalp, if you find them, if you couldn't bring them back, and you scalp them and cut their ears off, you got $20 for bringing that back. So they would bring back scalps of black people, chopped off ears of black people, and sell that shit and make money from that. That's what they did, yes. And they were glad to own slaves. They had, again, there was a larger percentage of members of the Cherokee Nation who owned slaves than there were white people. So this is in such contrast to what many of you were probably raised on to believe that, oh yeah, the Native Americans, they're going through what you go through and their plight is like your plight and they're your allies and all this. And I'm not saying that can't be true. I'm not saying that there aren't people out there in the Native American community who don't stand with black people. I'm not saying that. But I'm going to tell you this. If you look at the history of the actions of the Cherokee Nation as it pertains to the descendants of black Cherokees, black freedmen, the descendants of black freedmen, those actions have been nothing short of despicable. Absolutely despicable. In fact, they they actually made rulings within the Cherokee Nation that basically if you were black and you were a black Cherokee and you were not pure blood, you get none of the benefits of being Cherokee. You don't get the casino money. You don't get all this extra money that they give, those billions of dollars they give every year. You don't get none of that. And they're like, no, we don't want the niggas to have none of our money. And I'm gonna just tell you, I think that we as black people should really investigate, some of these claims. I think that we need to wipe the slate clean in terms of doing research on who our friends are and who our enemies are, because a lot of people that you think are your friends really ain't your friends. And a lot of people, and I don't know your enemies, I don't know if your enemies are really your enemies or not, but I will say this. One thing that Dr. Anderson said that was very interesting to me was he said that he said that when he reached out to the Democrats to tell them his plan for black America, for the improvement of black America, he said the Democrats basically told him to fuck off. The Democrats weren't trying to hear none of that because they basically felt like, well, we already have black support, so we don't have to do anything. It was actually people from the Trump administration who at least listened a little bit. Let me tell you what that means. Let me check my flag. Give me 1 second. I don't even see Louisville. Where is it?
Our flight was officially canceled, I think.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's not on the list, so now we don't know where the hell they got our bags.
We don't exist. That's what it is. I'm sorry. I'm sitting here in the airport trying to find my bags, so I'm just walk and talk to you guys. So anyway, one of the things that he said was that with the Trump camp, they didn't follow his recommendation. What's up, man? How you doing, brother?
Right yourself.
I'm doing good.
Big fan of yours, man.
Oh, thank you, brother.
I'm always watching your podcast, and I signed from the shack.
My man.
Here I am.
Me.
Yeah, what brings you in the city?
I live here, brother.
Oh, you do?
Yes, sir. Right on the south side.
Good. I was going to I had a question to ask you. Oh, yeah. My question is this.
Okay. Yes, sir. I'm on Facebook Live, so you don't mind if they hear our conversation.
No.
Okay, I won't put you on camera.
Okay. It's this. We know we have a lot of problems in the community. What are some solutions? That's what I want to know, because honestly, I would sacrifice pulling equity out of one of my properties to do whatever I need to do to help us go to the next level. Case in point, I went to a business in the city that says that alkaline water. They said alkaline water is real good for you, and that's what I was going to drink. So I was organizing. I was going to take some of my own money to take a truck load that's 30 feet. The truck is 30 feet. Fill it up with the bottles of alkaline water and take it up there. And the lady was saying, well, I'm not sure if I can be able to do that.
Do you have his hat?
I'm trying to help your business grow, whereas I'm spending at least $1,000 of my own money. Now, I'm not having no GoFund page or nothing. So from understanding, the people in Flint, the water supply is still messed up, correct?
Right.
So I'm willing to sacrifice my own money, $1,000 worth of a bunch of gallon jugs to do it. And she's saying, well, I'm not sure if I can meet your supply and demand. I said, well, I tried anything. I said, okay, well, I can wait for, if it takes you a week to get it together, it's fine with me. But as long as we can commit that I give you this money and we making it, she doesn't want to do it. I'm kind of like being at wit's end. I want to, shoot money up there to the people of Flint to go up there, and I'm willing to sacrifice to do my part, whatever I can. What do you suggest?
Well, I mean, in that particular case, I don't really, I think if one channel don't work, you try another one. That's always my approach.
Right.
I would say also in terms of solving all the problems, it's a lot of problems and a lot of them are big, but I like the fact that you're starting with your own initiative to be the change that you're looking for. Mm-hmm. And so what I'll say to you, man, is if you can remember my email address, let me know when you want to do this. Because, and I think it's important, man, that I want people to know I'm talking to a brother who's actually on the police department, and I think that's really interesting that you happen to be an officer. My father was a cop for 25 years, and I think that it's important for people to know, because a lot of people think that cops don't care and nobody cares, and I just think that's wrong. So yeah, my email address, if you got a pen,
yeah, go ahead.
It's boyce@boycewatkins.com. Boyce@boycewatkins.com. So let me know whenever you are doing this, because maybe if you're trying to do something like that, I got a lot of people that believe in what we're trying to do, and you know, they'll make a donation, they'll offer support. You know, people that I roll with put their money where their mouth is. So so I commend you, man. I commend you.
Yeah, because I wanted to do it. I wasn't looking for no recognition. I wasn't gonna put it on Facebook. Hey, look what my brother and I going to do. I just wanted to do it because I know they need water, and I was just going to this little this small store that sells the oil used in the shea butter and the deodorant without the alkaline in it, the toothpaste without the fluoride and everything. So I really wanted to support them to help them up there. I didn't want to go to. I now started to see Jules is starting to sell alkaline water now.
Yeah.
But I wanted to support the smaller business where they trying to grow and expand to to really do it. Really hurt my heart.
Don't give up, man. Don't give up. Let me help. You know, like when you're ready to do something, when you're ready to move, like email, and maybe I get some people that can offer some backup for it. We ain't got to do it by ourselves.
Right.
Yeah, I hope you excuse me. I was sitting here on Facebook, and I don't want them to overhear the conversation when we were talking. So
right.
But hey, brother, but I appreciate you saying hello, man. Absolutely.
Keep up the good work. I appreciate it.
For sure. Absolutely.
All right, that's what I recognize you.
All right, my brother. Have a good night. Sorry, everybody. I was stopped. When I get in Chicago, I get stopped a lot. So I figured there was no reason to interrupt our conversation. So, because right now I'm looking for my luggage. But here's what I was trying to say to you is that, you know, this whole thing, this conversation that Dr. Anderson and I had today, it really struck a chord with me in terms of us sort of reassessing all of history. We have to really reinvestigate, you know, who's really on our side and who isn't. Because I'm going to tell you, right, if you're basing it on what you learned in school, we know that school's a lie. School is a complete lie, you know, and I just, you know, I think that this whole thing about the Native Americans and what the Cherokee Nation is doing to black members needs to be exposed. I think everybody needs to know about it. Everybody needs to talk about it. And I know I'm talking about it. And I know that that this lies at the core of what Dr. Anderson's doing. He's made this his life's work. And you talk about a tired, older gentleman who's, you know, on his last legs, fighting for black folks, using up every penny he's got. He's proven his worth. He's proven his commitment. He wrote Powernomics, which is one of the greatest books in the history of this country, the history of this world. He wrote Black Labor, White Wealth, another book that you see me reference all the time. There really is no other book like this that tells you the truth in that way. And what's difficult to me is that sometimes it almost seems like Dr. Anderson loves us more than we love ourselves. You know, he shows more commitment to us and more courage for us than we show for our own well-being. And I think that given that he's not going to live forever, he's not 25 years old, you know, he's at some point he may get called home, we got to carry the torch. We got to carry that mantle. All of us, me, you, everybody watching right now. The fact that you're watching means that you think a certain way. And that means that all of us are kind of in this together. So I want you to go look that up. Look up the Indian Treaty of 1866 and the lawsuits that are connected to it. I know that Dr. Anderson is working extensively on these lawsuits still, spending tons of money. I think you need to find his Harvest Institute, make a donation. But one of the things he mentioned was he said a lot of black folks will give $5 or $10. Let's give a little bit more, you know. Give to him like he's like you're giving to the movie theater, right? Just whatever you would go spend at the movies. You know how you go to the movies and they charge you $20 for some popcorn and a drink, you know, and then another $25 for the ticket. Give to him like you give to the movie theater. Give to him like you give to the mall. When you go to the mall, you know, you're going to drop crazy amounts of money at the mall for Christmas. You know, give to him the way you would give to the mall. That's just my 2 cents, you know, my recommendation. I'm trying not to talk too loud because I'm in the airport and surrounded by people, and we're not getting our luggage anytime in this century apparently. But anyway, yeah, here we go. There you go. Black Freedmen Indian Treaties of 1866. Thank you, Joseph. All right, now I can camp out and sit down and settle in. So anyway, Dr. Anderson has compassion for what he believes in as much as you do and many others, Samuel. Thank you, Samuel. But, you know, Dr. Anderson's been doing this a lot longer than me. I mean, I've been fighting for a minute, but, nothing compared to him. He's been doing this since the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, really. The United Nations should be backing Dr. Anderson, absolutely. I think that what we can do is, the way we can really leverage and build on what he has done is we can use technology. Technology, which allows togetherness in ways that we didn't have before. I think that also one area that he and I discussed that he mentioned where I can help fill certain voids is, he talks about group economics, what we can do as a group. My belief, my theory is that the group is stronger when we're also stronger individually. So that starts with mass education on basic economics, just basic economics, starting businesses, things like that, but thinking about it in creative ways. So for example, I want to shift the culture. I want to see you, when you get with grandma and them and you sitting around at Christmas time, I want to see you sitting around talking about the family business. Why not? I mean, if Pookie scored 2 touchdowns, you'd be talking about that the whole Thanksgiving dinner. So why are you going to sit around and talk about Pookie and his offensive skills and what he needs to do to get better as a football player, but you won't sit around and talk about what Pookie needs to know to be a good businessman? We just got to shift the culture. That's it. So I think that that using family as an avenue for cooperative economics, that's your first Black Wall Street, is your family, or people that think like you, that are close to you. That's your first Black Wall Street. But then remember, your value, your economic value goes up when you are together as a unit, when you all sort of agree to a collective purpose. Everybody's willing to put some skin in the game. Everybody understands the basics of how to start a business. Everybody's learning, etc. along the way. And then at that point, I think there should be certain things that have to be sort of part of, the expectation and when you first start life off. For example, every Black child should know how to start a business by the age of 12. Every Black child in America. If you got a child and your child does not know how to start a business, then you need to get them in front of some basic information where they can learn basic economics. I'm not talking about advanced economics. I'm talking about very, very basic, buy low, sell high, ownership, things like that. We teach all of that in the Black Millionaires of Tomorrow program, etc. If you want to see some of our programs, just go to blackfinancialliteracy.com. The URL should be right there in the post, blackfinancialliteracy.com. But then also, number 2, every Black family should read Powernomics, and you should read Black Labor, White Wealth. Powernomics and Black Labor, White Wealth. Those are 2 critical books that every person should read if they want to understand what is the mandate of the future, which is the economic development of the Black community. Number 3, Black people need to educate Black children. You must educate your own kids. Stop letting other people educate your damn kids, because they're fucking them up. They're messing up your goddamn kids. They're going to fuck them up. They're going to keep screwing them up. They're going to keep teaching them nonsense. And your kid's going to grow up blind, deaf, and dumb, just like that stupid idiot who's running around on national TV talking about why Walter Scott should have got shot in the back, why it was okay to shoot him in the back. And I didn't mean to cuss. I'm sorry I got to cuss. But the fact is, sometimes we got to cuss at each other to get the point across. So you got to educate your own children on some level. Even if you send them to school every day, bring them home, you say, okay, you learned all that stuff in school, now I'm going to teach you the real stuff. I'm going to give you real information. If you want to know books that I recommend every Black person should read, you can write this URL down. You can go to thedrboycelibrary.com. That's thedrboycelibrary.com. That's where I have all the books that I think, if I was king of the earth, or king of Black America for a day, I would require every Black person to read this book. Because here's the thing. Here's what I want to tell you. This gets me excited when I think about this. We can take over the next generation. We can take the fucking lead. We can take the lead. I'm not talking about equality. I'm not talking about catching up. We can take the lead. The opening is wide open. You don't live in a country that is committed to excellence. Your country is not exceptional anymore. America used to be exceptional back when they were hungry, back when it was a young country and they wanted territory, and they wanted property, they wanted power. They were hungry then. In the 40s, 50s, and 60s, with the space race, they're competing with the Soviets. They were hungry then. America's lost its edge. America's lost its edge. We're a bunch of lazy-ass, intellectually weak, consumer-minded, debt-ridden bombs. That's all. Unethical idiots. That's what we are. That's what our country has become. So so basically one of the fundamental rules, you always hear how a fool and his money will soon part ways, or how you can take advantage of, like, a drunk man who's, a rich man who's drunk, somebody can take advantage of him and take his money. Well, America's drunk, and you could take all that money. You could take all that money. If we put our kids at the front of the line on a couple of areas, our kids can go in and take it all. Let me explain. Number one, 52% of Americans do not even participate in the stock market. 52% of Americans do not participate in the stock market. And let me tell you how simple it actually is to invest and make money in the stock market. They did a study in the book A Random Walk Down Wall Street by Burton Malkiel. He proved that monkeys have the ability to pick stocks and build wealth just by picking random stocks. So you don't need expertise, you don't need a bunch of money. You can invest with as little as $5 at a time and literally be able to leave your children over $1 million by the time you're done. You do that plus an insurance policy, you got over $1 million to leave with them. That's a game changer, because your child has $1 million or your grandchild has $1 million in the bank, and they know how to start a business and they know how to invest. They're not going to be an economic victim. They're going to be an economic powerhouse. They're going to know where the money's at. They're going to know how to take the lead. So that's one area. Most Americans don't participate in the stock market. Another area is that Americans are lazy. The educational excellence really is out the window. So if we became as excellent at education as we are at basketball, football, and entertainment, we would take the lead there as well. Technology is a game changer as well. So I would say, in those sort of very key areas, making sure every black child in America knows how to start a business by the age of 12, making sure that our children read books like Powernomics at an early age, making sure that our children understand the importance of participating in the stock market, starting businesses, having life insurance policies, as Joseph says, just basic Powernomics 101 at an early age. Then I bet you anything that that in a generation or two, if this became kind of a fad, like if let's say for a decade, it became really cool for black people to invest in the stock market and to start businesses, then in about 50, 60 years, that generation won't even remember when black people struggled. They won't remember it. They'll just be like, what are you talking about? Like, why would black people ever struggle? So that's what I want to encourage you to do. Just understand that, strugglenomics, I don't want to play strugglenomics. Let's do Powernomics. Somebody says, did you put up a link for teaching stock yet? Not yet. I'm working on that now. If you want to get started in some of our beginning wealth building classes, we have a great class program. It's a program actually at Black Money 101, blackmoney101.com. Go to blackmoney101.com. The first month is free. The stock market class is going to be blackmoney102.com, all about investing in the stock market. So when that's ready, I'll let you know. I was working on that today on the plane. So when I was sitting on this airplane 5.5 hours, at least I got most of the materials ready for that course. So it's gonna be great. It's gonna be straightforward. I can explain it to you very easily. In case you don't know, I taught college students about finance and money for 23 years. I've taught people that are now experts on Wall Street. I've taught thousands and thousands of students, and I can teach you too. I can teach it in a way that nobody else could teach you, even at that expensive university that you went to. I just have thought about this. This is what I do. This is my passion, and you see how crazy I get when I'm passionate about something. When I'm passionate about something, I don't believe I can be stopped. I don't believe that we can be stopped. And my number one goal, is to inject that passion in you. I want you to feel that same maniacal insanity and self-confidence that makes you virtually unstoppable. So it all starts here with confidence. I gotta go, guys, because I think my luggage just came off the rack and I'm dying of fatigue, so I'm gonna go there and go take a nap. But go do that research on that treaty as well, and go to blackfinancialliteracy.com if you want to know about our stuff. I'm out of here, guys. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a good night. Peace.